All right, we have sign stealing gate, I guess, on our hands right now with the 49ers and Jaguars. Obviously, if you haven't heard yesterday, Robert Saleh, speaking to the media, talked about the legal sign stealing that Liam Coen and his group does with the Jaguars, which is honestly a bold thing to say because now today Liam Coen was asked about those comments, and I'll show you the video of his response. Take a look at how Liam Coen answered these questions from the media about Robert Saleh's comments regarding him and legal sign stealing. Take a look right here.
Really hard as a coaching staff throughout the week, trying to get indicators by your formation, motion, shift, pre-snap. Those are the things that you're trying to do as a coach if you're trying to put your players in the best position to be successful, whether it's attacking man or zone coverage with your formations, motions, and concepts. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into game planning and trying to put your players in the best position to be successful.
So you can see Liam is not comfortable. He was definitely uncomfortable by those accusations. The media was definitely trying to poke at this because they recognize it. It's effectively one coach calling out another coach, and we understand, man, the sign stealing thing. We saw the whole situation play out with Michigan like this past year and everything that they were dealing with, and all the fines and things that they got hit with, and then we saw what happened with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in that era of sign stealing and what they got hit with. So it's again, it's interesting because it was prefaced and quantified as legal by Robert Saleh, but still, in of itself, it's kind of illegal, right? To steal signs. That's not something that you're allowed to do in the NFL, and is something that is penalized. So I think that's part of the fascinating element of this is that, again, watching that reaction by Liam, he's very uncomfortable by it. You can tell he was like, why would Salah say that? Like, what the heck, man? And this is now very interesting because it's kind of like the game within the game, and hey, I'm excited about it. Now we got the matchup on the field, right? But now we got Saleh versus Coen, and again, remember who was heavily considered for the head coaching job for the Jaguars this offseason. It was effectively between Liam Coen and Robert Saleh on who would get the head coaching job for the Jaguars. So I don't know, man. Is there something? Is there something more here? Is there some bad blood? Did Saleh feel a certain type of way about maybe Liam Coen and how he handled the interview process, and I don't know, ultimately getting the job that I think Robert Saleh was hopeful to get, because as we've talked about, Robert Saleh coached for the Jaguars before. He was a linebackers coach when Gus Bradley, who is also on the 49er staff, was the head coach there. So this is kind of developing into a pretty interesting story right now with how everything has evolved. It's definitely going to make, I think, the 49ers matchup, uh, defense versus Jaguars offense, something that is going to be a little bit more fun to watch. It's definitely gonna be a chess match there that I'm going to be paying attention to, especially with all, because again, this doesn't happen all that much. We see it week in and week out. It's very PC, very, you don't want to say anything that can be, anything that could be used as motivation for the other team. But there's clearly a reason why Robert Saleh said that. Robert Saleh is very media trained. He understands what he's saying. He understands the weight of what he is saying, especially with something like stealing signs. Um, so that's what makes it fascinating. That's what it feels like. There's we got something brewing right now between the 49ers, Jaguars, Liam Coen, Robert Saleh. Ooh boy. So if you missed Robert Saleh's comments, I'll play them right here so you can understand the full context of what Liam is responding to. But I am curious to know what you guys think of this whole situation. Could there be a little bit more to this situation than maybe we're recognizing? Could there be a little bit more to it? Like I mentioned, maybe there's something that went down when both these guys were interviewing for the head coaching job for the Jaguars. So I don't know. Because remember, 49ers had to wait it out. They had to wait a long time for that situation between Cohen and the Jags to be finalized, because it was, if Robert Saleh was in the mix for that job. So I don't know. Take a listen to what Robert Saleh had to say right here if you missed it. And I'm curious to know what you guys feel about this situation in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.
Jacksonville, this is a very young, but it's a very talented group. Liam and his staff, coming from a couple of guys coming from Minnesota, they've got legally a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous situation. They do a great job with it. They formation you to try to find any nugget they can. So we've got to be great with our signals, and we got to be great with our communication, and to combat some of the tells that we might give on the field. So they're almost elite in that regard. That whole entire tree, from Sean to Kevin O'Connell to all those guys, they all do it. So so there's challenges. They're going to catch us in some situations where they have the advantage, and we just got to play good, sound, fundamental football and do our best to execute them.
Robert, on that, when it comes to the communication, is there any drop off? Like, was Bosa the more vocal guy on that defensive line in the games, like specifically in games?
No, I think they do a good job communicating with one another. There's Chris does a great job managing those guys and making sure that everyone's on the same page at all times. So, from a communication standpoint, we expect to still be very good.
Robert, stupid question, but who are they stealing the signals from?
Oh, I don't. That's the ultimate trick. Whether it's people from the sideline or whether it's our individual hand signals, whatever nugget they can find, they catch it, and they always happen to find themselves in good situations based on the coverage you showed. And there's nothing illegal about it, and I'm not suggesting that. It's just you can tell that they've got a CAN system that's getting them into a very advantageous position. It gets them into a very advantageous position multiple times during the course of a game.
Experience it like this? Has this ever happened to you during a game and you're like, wow, they're stealing my signals?
No, it's no. Were there findings? I was like, damn, how'd they know to get to that play? Yeah. We dealt with it in Minnesota last year. They got us into a couple of situations. You can see it on tape when they're studying. It's like, damn, how'd they know to be in that call at that time? And we've experienced it with the Rams a little bit, but it's not an uncommon thing. They're just this group of people. They're pretty damn